Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh my gosh, Carman, the Carman is in the house.
I snuck in the door.
No, you don't sneak in anywhere because it's like top of the morning to
Well, you're right. I do have a big mouth.
You would be the world's worst thief or burglar.
Yeah, I make too much. Plus, I stumble and make too much noise. I don't have the.
You'd be shaking everyone's hand on the way in.
I was at the auction yesterday, bought a truck and bought off of some dealer. Didn't know who the guy was, and they said, "Hey, Carmen's here to buy a truck. Wants to give you an offer." And I said, "Oh yeah, I know the Carmen." I'm thinking, how the hell do I know him? But
you're infamous.
I am. Evidently, I've done a good name on advertising on my name.
There you go.
So
well, when your name is Carman,
it's the perfect name for
it's
the car.
Kind of a good car salesman name.
I've had a lot of people tell me that over the years.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been really good.
Yeah.
Just need to sell more cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs.
That's exactly right. And, well, we can chat about what you have out on the lot today and all kind of other stuff.
Talk about the Bengals and Browns, and Jackson's football's doing really well. I think Wellston's been doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think Benton County has been too. I haven't really.
Yep.
So
Oak Hill's just rebuilding. I mean, again, they have they were kind of short last year on players, and they've rebuilt, and
that's good.
So they're working on it.
Well, high school.
They'll get there.
High school sports kind of important, it really is. It's good for the kids. It makes them want to go to school, and you got to concentrate on your grades and stuff like this. So if you're playing some type of sport in school, it does make you feel like you got to, because if you can't, you're out. So
sure.
So it helps you.
And let's just be honest, there's something in the water down in Oak Hill where they produce some really good athletes.
They do. It's a great little town.
They're going to be. It's going to be great.
It's a great little town with a lot of nice people, and we're lucky around here.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we are lucky.
We have a lot of great small communities around here.
We do.
That add up to one big small community.
You know what was really crazy? I was heading to Crooksville yesterday, and your sister station up in Athens. They're broadcasting to help all the getting relief for the people down south. Some real estate agent. I didn't hear it at all. It was a real estate agent, I think, was putting it on, and radio station was kicking in and getting a lot of stuff. I thought that's pretty cool, man. The whole community of Athens, and so that's really cool. After that, I mean, that is probably the worst hurricane damage I've ever seen down through that area. Wow.
I don't understand. I was telling somebody this morning about that. I'm like, I do not understand how a hurricane wipes out, Asheville, North Carolina is 500 miles off the coast or something like that.
And it's
and up here.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, well, the winds were unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I went to Columbus Friday morning, and it wasn't too bad. When I got back to Jackson, the wind was really kicking. We lost our power for a couple hours, which thank God, that was nice. It was only 2 hours. I sent everybody home. I said, "Who's going to buy a car in this stuff?"
Yeah, right. No, there's nobody coming out.
No juice, and it's too nasty outside. So, but man, I tell you what, I lost only one flag. That was a lot.
You're kidding.
And I did have a topper for a pickup truck get blowed off and ran into broke a window out one of my vehicles.
Oh.
But, a little damage, but, a lot better than.
Hey, it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse. There's a lot of people got trees blown down. And
did you see that giant tree on Standpipe?
Yes.
Jamie and I so I went home to get him because he had just gotten back from a conference. And we had to go back to the restaurant. He's like, well, let's drive down Standpipe and just see, if there's any damage or whatever. And we got up over that hill. I'm like, well, we ain't going that way. That's the biggest tree I've ever seen.
Yeah, that thing was wiped out. I've been down through there a few times now. There's like 2, maybe 3 other big trees blown blown down.
It's scary.
Yeah, that I mean, that was amazing. I mean, it was like a mini tornado, I guess.
Well, and here's the thing. Like when I went home to pick him up, is kind of when the wind started, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, let's just stay here for a minute because I don't want to like leave because I don't know exactly what's happening.
Right.
And it was like all the windows in our house started getting like sucked
Really?
in. Like they made the most horrible noise, and I looked
Cracking
out. Yes, and I looked out, and it was like that whistle, like woo.
Yeah.
And I looked out in the front yard, and all the leaves in our front yard were swirling. And I was like, should we like go somewhere?
Well, I think, didn't they announce on the radio? My daughter went to the basement during that time, said there was a possible tornado.
Oh yeah,
swirling around. So it's a possibility it was a tornado.
They say
bit.
there weren't, but
they haven't verified. But the big thing is just the winds were so bad and they were swirling.
It was horrible.
So I know Scott Sheets told me, said that was the quickest moving storm it ever has. I mean, that they know of. How that storm just shot up to our hills. We are lucky. Our hills protect us a lot from weather. It's just amazing. But sometimes they don't protect us because you can't on something like that. We got a little rain, we got some wind, but God, I tell you, what they got in the Carolinas and Tennessee and what down through there was unbelievable. Wiped out roads and community, wiped out cities.
Yeah,
I mean, just wiped out cities completely.
Poor Asheville. It's a bad deal.
I tell you, I feel sorry. I don't know how those people. I mean, you think about it, you lose your car, you lose your house,
home,
your home, you lose
your
all
business,
your business,
or your work,
or where you work.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's gone.
where do you go from there? I mean,
I don't know.
Wow.
I was Jamie and I were looking at pictures from. We were in Asheville not too long ago. We go down there, pretty much once a year,
mm-hmm.
and there's all the breweries and all the great restaurants, and so much beauty, just natural beauty down there.
Right.
And he's like pulling up pictures, and he's like, "That's blah blah blah. We were just there. Remember, we went in that door right there, and it's just gone.
Yeah.
Like, or the door is like covered with water. I'm like, oh my god, there's no way.
There's a barbecue place down there. It's kind of world famous down there. I think it didn't wipe it completely. I mean, it's gutted it, but they're starting from scratch too.
Oh, I don't know. It's not good.
Not good. Well, that's going to take. It's like when Xenia got wiped out. It's going to take years for it to recover, but it's going to take time.
Well, and when it all happens so fast and with no warning,
yeah.
I mean, and I do blame. I'm just going to be, critical. Like the weather people, whomever you may be, whether national or local or whatever, they're so dramatic about everything. When they finally tell you that something's going to happen, you don't really listen. It's like the boy that cried wolf thing. And then the next thing you know, it does happen and nobody's paid any attention.
Exactly. Crazy. I tell you.
It's horrible.
It is crazy. Oh, well, but, moving forward to the good times. I mean, the weather is beautiful outside today.
It is gorgeous. It doesn't get much better than, sunny and 75.
Yesterday I walked outside. I was shorts on, my wife, and walked outside. I said, well, I better at least take a sweatshirt. By the time I got to Crooksville, it was warmed up, so I didn't need it. But Sandy goes, I had my shorts on again today. She said, oh, you're wishful thinking. I said, hey, the next few days is supposed to be nice.
Supposed to be nice.
As long as the weather is cracking out there and warm, I'm in. I'm going to wear shorts and as long as I can.
I don't blame you a bit. We will fight the winter every step of the way.
Yes. But I am looking forward to cooler weather. That's hard to believe after the summer we had. It was so hot.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow, it was hot.
It's been rough.
That was the hottest summer I think I've ever remembered. I mean, It was hot every day. My grass is probably like yours, is finally probably starting to come back after that little rain.
Yeah. Jamie mowed. He's had to spend 2 days mowing at our house because he's like, dang, this grass is way worse than I thought because it's just been a big dead patch for so long. And then all of a sudden, here it came. But
I told my boy cuts my grass. I said, you can wait a couple of weeks. And the other day I came home from work. Said, you want your grass cut? I said, well, let me check. I went out. I said, wow, it's grown quite a bit. So do it.
Crazy. And then, of course, fall grass is just more coarse anyway.
Yeah. Well, we only got a few weeks left. And by the end of the month, it'll be all back to doom and gloom, no sun.
Yeah, we'll all be depressed.
And go to when does it turn 5 o'clock? Dark at 5 o'clock again?
About Halloween time.
Oh God!
When we set the clocks back.
That's the most dreaded time. I hate.
It's
you're
so
ready to you're ready to go
depressing.
to bed at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know.
You're just
Then you wake up and you think, wow, it's crazy.
So bad.
Well, we got good things for Rise. We got new TV shows coming out here in a couple of weeks.
That is true. That's one good thing about fall.
Oh my God!
Yellowstone's coming back.
Yeah,
There's all kind of fun stuff.
All good stuff coming back.
I
mean, last year was all right in TV, but man, we've had all these damn. I am so sick of looking at reruns and reruns of movies. Hell, I've got so good I can tell you the verses.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
So look forward to that. We got football going on, baseball playoffs, racing. My God, we got so much going on right now.
Well, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. What do you think about your Bengals?
Well,
is it next year will be their year?
Let me talk to you here in a couple weeks.
I love the whole Carman make excuses for the Bengals situation. It's fun.
It's Ohio. It's Ohio, between the Browns and the Bengals. But, I'm not giving up on them. We're 1-3. They're still in the hunt. You look at our division. It's I think 3-1, and Cleveland's 1-3-2, and Baltimore, which I think is the team to beat in the Central. I think they're 2-2. Their fantasy. I got a bunch of fantasy points from their running back last week.
Oh.
And I think like 30. Hell, I thought I was going to lose. The next thing I know, my man Henry just ran away with it. Took off 200 yards, about 200 yards. I don't know how many touchdowns. I think. Wow, end up winning pretty good. So.
There you go. We're not going to complain about that.
I don't know. It's still early.
What seems to be the problem?
Well, defense has been their problem. They haven't been able to stop anybody.
I haven't. I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched any games this year.
Well, Burrow, the offense is really starting to click. Their defense looked a little better last week. This is going to be the real test. They've had some injuries on their defensive line. Those guys, there's a couple of guys coming back. They're still waiting for 1 or 2 more guys to come back. So, they're not completely out of the hunt. They can't. They can't really afford to lose a lot of games. You start losing. There's only 16 games. Yeah. So
you gotta win.
You gotta win. Cleveland, I think, has got some serious issues with their line. They got some real issues, and their defense hasn't been playing very good. Pittsburgh's been the surprise. They won the first 3 or 4 games.
Oh.
And they're they weren't even supposed to be in the hunt. So they played Dallas this weekend. I can't remember Cleveland. I can't remember who Cleveland plays. Cincinnati plays Baltimore, which is the toughest team in the division.
Gotcha.
So, but it's fun to watch football, and the Buckeyes looking pretty good. This good game,
Yeah, I was just looking at that. It's a 3:30 game, and be a nice if you have any outside space. This would be a good weekend to sit outside and watch some football.
Yeah, it's is it 3:30 this week? So that's good.
Yeah, I just checked right before you walked in the door because I wasn't. Is it Iowa?
Yeah, Iowa. So. Yep. And Iowa's usually pretty tough, can be pretty tough.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, everybody's looking forward to playing Oregon the following week. That's, if they can give, of course, hopefully they don't shortchange themselves. And, their defense looks like Ohio State's defense looks a little soft starting off, but then they settle down and start playing. So
it's interesting.
Really? And did you watch the Georgia and the Alabama game last week?
No, we were forget what we were doing. We were doing something and didn't end up watching it. But
we got stuck. Had to buy Peacock last week. Because we got to buy. If you're gonna watch the game, you got to pay your $8 and
whatever it is
monthly until you get to watch football for the rest of the weekend or for the rest of the fall. But
good news is you can buy it for a month and cancel it.
Yeah, but really, I watched. We took it. We watched. Actually, it was. We passed on the debates a little bit there on Monday night. We watched a little bit, but we put on Peacock, and they had Brilliant Minds, the new doctor show out. That's the only new show out. I said, wow, there's a new show. Let's watch it.
Sure.
So we streamed back-to-back episodes. So
Is it good?
Yeah, it's not bad. A little different. Not bad. A little different, When you're looking for something new to watch, you go with about anything.
So, speaking of shows, So, when you're in the restaurant and you're working in the kitchen and everybody's cooking and whatever, and you're paying attention to all this, everyone's food, there's a lot of conversations that go on.
Oh,
Some
about
different than others.
the shows.
Yeah, so we started talking about like TV one day, and some of the kitchen guys were asking if we had watched. Jamie and I had watched this new Menendez Brothers.
I've seen it, but I haven't watched it.
Like
It's
documentary is not the word. It's a show basically.
Yeah,
I think it's called Monsters or something.
Yeah, it's based on their story
on their
about
life.
about their life killing their family.
And so the guys start talking about some of the stuff though that happens, and I'm like,
pretty bad, huh?
The worst.
Really?
Like, so I don't know if any of you watched it out there. So Jamie's like, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. I'm like, well, now I gotta watch it because now it's like a topic of discussion in the kitchen, and we're gonna have to watch it. And, so I figure we'll watch that at some point. But yeah, from what they say, it is
pretty graphic, huh? Very graphic.
Extremely.
Wow. Well, yeah. Those they were monsters. Those two boys. I mean, came from rich parents and killed them for money. Basically, I think if I remember what the story was.
Well, but there's there's more to the story of evidently the dad sexually abused them.
Oh, well.
And that's a lot of.
That's graphic too, then.
Very.
Wow.
So, and I just saw this morning where they have some new evidence and stuff that they're going to start hearing about, perhaps maybe thinking about letting them out because of all of the abuse.
Yeah, well, I feel sorry for them on that part of it.
So, I don't know. I'm interested. It's a fascinating story.
I might have to watch it if I can get myself motivated to watch it. Good thing about now the new TV, if I call it the new TV, is streaming.
Yeah,
is you can
it's just at your fingertips.
You just go back to on demand or whatever and find shows that you missed and go back. The cable bills have gotten so expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculously high.
For sure.
And my wife's been talking about for a while. Well, my daughter, she went over to Spectrum, took her box back, and ended up saving $100 on her bill.
Oh, for sure.
And so I said, because this thing that's funny, the cable bill doesn't tell you stuff. They don't tell you where you can save money a lot. If you're charged,
of course not.
They're not that stupid, but you're wise to either go over and see them or talk to somebody, and you can probably get your cable bill down a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have Wi-Fi today. You got to have TV. I mean, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're retired, you stay home if you're a sports fanatic or whatever, you got to watch. Or like watching this show, you got to have TV. I mean,
sure, and you need the internet to do so.
And the good thing about the TV today, you got so many avenues: YouTube, Peacock. I mean, there are so many.
Oh yeah.
And it's all. Man, don't get me wrong; it's not cheap. You just got to pick and choose. You got like Netflix. You got Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, they just raised Netflix again, and I think it was Hulu they raised again.
Right. Well, we got Netflix and Amazon Prime. And we got HBO at home. And Sandy says, well, if you think about it, all the movies are on Amazon or HBO or old shows. You can watch them on Netflix or whatever. Netflix, actually, I watched a good movie on Netflix the other night. Mm-hmm. So there's some good stuff out there.
I've watched several. So here's the thing. So you and I grew up, and this will be interesting to get Adrian's take on this too.
3 station channels.
So, right. Well, we don't even want to go back that far, but does it take some of the fun out of watching TV if you just go to all streaming? Okay, so did you growing up, because Adrian, you're what, 18, 19?
18. I'm going to be 19 here Monday.
Okay.
God, I remember those ages.
Right, exactly. So did you grow up in a house where there was like cable and you just turned on the TV and whatever you got was whatever was on is what you had to choose from? Do you remember that?
Yes, actually I do. Because even after my parents switched to streaming, I'd be at my grandparents' house and they would also still have cable going. So
okay. So you know what I'm talking about. So here's the question. Is it more fun to watch TV when you can just like when you turn it on and you don't have to choose a show? It's like, well, you get this choice of 50 channels and whatever's on is on. Or is it better to have to pick and choose every time via a streaming?
Pick and choose, baby.
Really?
And
See,
choose.
I almost think it's more fun to turn it on the cable and see,
Man,
which I don't have at my house because Spectrum won't,
they haven't got
run it down.
that
No.
way. Oh, they're working that way, aren't they? I think you're down the bottom of the, is the suburb down there.
They got about halfway.
Well, they're going to get there. They're probably going to get there. But with streaming, but no, I think the nice thing.
You know what I'm saying, though? Yeah, is it more fun for it to be a surprise or to have to think about what you're going to watch every time?
Well, the problem is, in the old days, we came up when we had the old antenna. We had Channel 3, Channel 8. And if you're lucky, you might got a channel from Columbus, Ohio. And I think everybody remembers that. Or if the wind blows your antenna, and then you go outside in the middle of the night and it's cold and raining or whatever, and turn the freaking antenna so you can get your show back on.
Yeah.
I don't miss those days at all.
No, definitely not.
But, in cable is a bunch of reruns. I mean, they got 300 channels or whatever, and reruns. I mean, it's hard, but
you're right.
And the only thing good about the last few years is you got on demand, so you can, if you miss the show, you're at a wedding or a party or on the road, and you really wanted to see a show or a movie, and if you're on cable back in the old days, if it played, you didn't get to watch it until they had the rerun. But
now you don't have to worry about recording stuff because you can just go on there. What do you think, Adrian?
I'm
from an 18-year-old perspective.
I'm honestly sort of in between that. There are some days where I would just like to turn it on, honestly, just let my mind turn off for a bit.
Yeah, I get it. Not have to choose what you want to watch.
But then there are some days where I'm like, I really want to watch this specific thing.
Okay.
And I'll...
He's a tweener.
Yeah, no, that's not. I tell you, wish I had that TV, and I don't have that type of TV where you can have two screens watching two games. Two games or two shows.
Now you're getting fancy, Carman.
But they did have that. On some TVs, you can do that. I used to have my first plasma TV, I used to have that where you could switch.
Picture in picture.
Yeah, picture. You can watch one show, and if you're watching, you're watching a race or or something else or a show, and the other thing about TV I hate, commercials. They wear me out. I love to watch mine. I love to advertise on commercials, but it's like they play your show about 10 minutes, and then you got 10 minutes worth of commercials.
Hey, it's just a good time to go get another beer.
Well, true. Or pause it. Now you got TV, which now you can pause.
Yeah.
So you can't pause it really quick. So you go to the beer, or go to the restroom, or whatever you got to do, or somebody calls, you can pause it, pick up where you're at. So modern times have changed. It's kind of good in some ways, but it's kind of expensive too.
Yeah, it can be.
And the other thing about TV, you can listen to music too. They got you got music on there too. If any type of channel that you like, classical, rock, whatever is on there.
It was so funny the other day. I come home and Jamie's like, he has this really freaked out look on his face. I'm like, what? He's like, the music's playing and I don't know how. And I'm like, what? And I go in our living room and there's this random speaker sitting there, and our TV, and the music that he's got on his phone
is playing through
it. But I didn't even know this random speaker was even hooked up to anything anymore. So I have and he was just.
Your house is haunted.
And he is completely freaked out. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I said, what did you hit? And he said, I don't know. This thing came up and it said, do you want to connect to all devices? And I hit yes. I'm like, well,
that's what happened.
And so it's just playing music all over the house.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm like, well, it is if you don't mind that.
Yeah, but
I was like, how do you undo it? He's like, I have no idea.
Well, the other thing on both my TVs, there's a button you hit by accident. It'll say you'll switch to a channel. Say channel 4, Star Trek, and
Oh, it like talks.
It talks to you. And I think I hate that.
Like, shut
So
up.
finally, I don't know how I did it to my big TV. It did my wife's in our bedroom, and my wife's TV. I call her TV because she watches more than I do. But I said, man, that just annoys me. So I accidentally did it to mine. So finally, I said, now I got to find out how to fix this thing. So I started pushing buttons. I finally pushed something, and it did away with that.
The good news is the power of the internet. You can Google pretty much how to do anything.
Yeah,
so.
Google.
How do I make this stupid thing stop?
Thank God for Google.
Yeah. What would we do without it?
I mean, it's amazing what you can work on your
fix
cars.
your car.
I mean,
Yeah.
anything. And my mechanics actually use it. It's
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
It's amazing. Shows you how to fix certain things, videos and all that. That's actually pretty cool.
So it's interesting. We had a staff member it's been many years ago now. He had this just like basic Chevy. I can't remember. It was just a little 4-door Chevy car. And he had taken it to, not out to your place, but to one mechanic, and they could not figure out what was wrong with it. They said, we think it's the computer board. You need to take it to a dealership. Took it to a dealership. They couldn't fix it.
I've heard that before. I've run across this.
Had no idea what was wrong with it. So he just brings it home. He was like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to scrap it. He gets on Google and types it in, and it was like a $20 part. And he fixed it himself.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
And I'm like, shut up. You are making that up. He's like, no. And it was perfect.
We've run across. I got a car right now. It's an old car, thank God. The wipers, every time I turn the wipers on, it kills the car.
Weird.
It's a Pontiac, and it's an old car. Thank God it's not a new car. And so whoever we sell to, we say, the car runs good. It's got new tire, blah, blah, blah. But if it rains, you're just going to, the wipers kill it. It's just, and we've Googled it. We've done everything. It's just it's something in that model of car that they all do.
Weird.
And you can't get parts for it. So that's the other bad thing about it. So because it's so old. That's it. But it's just there's strange things, and I've had one guy had a Land Rover. We were talking about a car having problems, and he had a Land Rover. It was having some difficulty with it, and he said, "I can't drive it anywhere because I can't. I've taken it to the dealer; they can't fix it. I've taken to other people, and they can't fix it." He goes, "I don't know what to do." It was the only thing I can do, and it's a fairly new one too.
Oh,
so
and those aren't cheap.
No, they aren't cheap. So. That's the only bad thing about new cars. Their newer vehicles, they're so complicated. They're tough.
So
if they get a weird problem like that.
Oh yeah. So it's funny. I was driving my niece's car the other day to Columbus because Jamie took my car. He had to go to convention, and he's not going to drive his old rusty pickup truck that far. And so he took my car. Well, I had to go to Columbus, so I borrowed her car, and it's a new Volvo, which I think you had one and you loved it, or you okay?
I still got one.
So
those are nice vehicles.
But I'm sending her messages I don't know how to put this thing in park. I don't know how to turn the air on, and she's like, it's all within that stupid screen. And I'm like, okay. So then she and I were laughing. We got in this whole discussion about screens. Well. This morning, I get up and I'm watching the Today Show, and they did this whole thing about how car makers and stuff are starting to get away from screens and go back to buttons because everybody. I'm like, can't you just push the blue button for cold and the red button for hot? And why do you have to get into a computer to do all of this stuff?
Believe it or not, I got a vehicle I bought. It's a Jeep. It has a screen on it. And the screen is bad. It's back ordered. We ordered it. I don't know, or a long time ago.
Yeah.
We tried to use ones, put in there, it didn't work, so we finally got a new one.
So you can't do anything with this car.
I can't. I can't sell it like it is because it works. God bless you. Sorry.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. Anyway, it operates the seats, it operates the radio, it operates everything.
Everything.
So you're dead meat without the screen.
And it's crazy. And they were saying that your chance, which they've put all these things on these screens to try to make it safer, but they've done all these studies now. They're saying, I think there are stats where you're 5.8 times more likely to have an accident trying to get into
On
the screen
Yeah.
to work something as you work, because buttons are muscle memory. Like
Yeah.
you
They can
can
just
not
reach
even
over.
look. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could drive my car, not even like turn the radio up, not even pay 1 ounce of attention.
Yeah, it's off your
Like,
steering wheel a lot of them now.
not take your eye off the road. But the screens, you can't do that.
Can't
You
do that.
have to look at
You have-
them.
well,
and
do you ever hear about the what is it? The electric car,
the Tesla.
Tesla's got the big TV screen on it. A cop pulled over this one guy when Teslas first came out.
Yeah.
A cop pulled. Did
I
you
can
hear that
see it 'cause
story?
they're huge.
Pulled him over and said, "Yeah." The cop or the kid goes, "What do you pull me over for?" He goes, "You're watching TV."
Right.
He goes, "No, sir, that's not a TV. That's my screen. It operates everything
How
in
it
my
controls
car."
everything.
He said, "Really?" He showed him. He goes, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry." He goes, "Hell, I thought you had a TV hooked up there and you were
Because
watching
they're
TV."
huge. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God, those things are gigantic
Yeah.
on those things.
And so I don't know. I just feel like we're overthinking a lot of this stuff.
Technology.
And like you
Just-
said, with these computer screens, that you have a car now that you can't do anything with until you get this screen that's now back ordered.
Yeah.
So it's basically
Fine.
useless car.
We finally got an email. We're getting it next week.
There you go.
I've had that car for
But it's like,
and I got
if it
someone
was
wanted-
just a freaking button, you
Yeah,
could just push
be
it.
done. And I got a customer dying to buy it. And we said, well, we're just waiting for we couldn't get a used one because the used one's we tried a used one and it wouldn't work. So I said, well, let's put a new one in and let's get it fixed.
Yeah.
I can't let a car sit back there in the back, a brand new vehicle, sit back there and rot. It's crazy.
Definitely not. But no, I just wondered, like, kind of your take on that situation as a car dealer, and do you ever hear like comments from people about that?
I mean, these cars are fantastic. I mean, the new technology on cars are great. My wife's car, her park and reverse and drives on there looks like a turn signal. And
Really?
yeah, you take it and you push it up to push it and you put it into drive. So I'm going down the road and I'm thinking, and it starts raining and I'm pushing on the button or pushing on, trying to turn the wiper on. And Sandy goes, "Don't do that." I said,
As you go flying backwards.
Thank God it didn't hurt. It didn't do anything. And I pushed the wiper on the other side. So technology is all
crazy.
good, but you
and if it all works, it's fantastic.
It's great, man. It really is.
But then I was like, back to the Volvo thing, and I'm sure the one that you have does this too. But I was like, took off. I'm driving down the highway to Columbus, and I look down because I'm trying to look at this screen to figure out how to work things. And the next thing I know, it's like it starts driving itself.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm like, what is happening? So I took my hands off the steering wheel and it just goes. And I'm like, what is happening?
Technology. You got a driver. A good thing about
it was crazy.
Well, they got those safety things, and probably a lot of cars now where if you drift in the other lane,
that's what it'll yank you.
It's a warning. It'll yank you back, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So there's,
and God forbid though you try to change lanes without turning your signal on, because then it tries to yank you back into the lane that you were in.
Or the other one is if you're coming up to another car pretty quick.
Yeah, it slows down.
It slows you down. And next thing you know, you're like,
I'm like
2 miles back, and you're thinking, what happened? I got on 60 and now I'm down to 40. And I'm like,
why am I going so slow? And then it dawned on me.
The lady has a Volvo. She goes, what you do, Mark? She says, you got to put your turn signal on.
Yes.
And
it goes.
It'll then that way you can, it won't slow you down. I said, really?
I figured most of this out on the way to Columbus and back.
The Volvo, we got a Volvo in stock, a 3-seater, and it really is really nice all-wheel drive, and it's very, very. It's one of the safest cars on the road.
They are, and that's why they have it, because they have a baby.
Yeah, they're
like,
very.
I get it, man.
It's a 3-seater, leather, sunroof. It's got right at 100,000 miles. But man, I drove it a little bit, and I tell you what's a nice car.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's one thing nice about a lot of the newer cars. Safety is a main concern about the cars now. You know, a lot of times they won't like on my new Corvette, if I don't fasten my seatbelt, I can't put it in park. It won't go in park until I fasten my seatbelt. It's got
Really?
that. Yeah. So, but they say you can turn that off. But I thought, well, I'm bad
Why?
about. I'm bad about. I don't know. I'm like the average person. I get in, start the car, back it up, start going down the street, and then fasten my seatbelt.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't know why.
Get a mile down the
Instead of
road
just
before
sitting
you
down and fasten your time. The next thing you know, you see a policeman. You go, "Oh my God!" You're trying to get that thing on.
I feel you.
Yeah, but it's that's a good thing about technology. It's good, bad, and ugly.
It is.
The ugly is when it gets older and you can't find parts, and you can't find anybody to fix it. And you take it to the new car dealer, and their rates $150 to $165 an hour.
Sure.
And I hate to say this,
It's wild.
I hate to badmouth the dealer, but I took a car over to Norris to have Norris Nissan over there have a car programmed, and the dealer, I got the part from over in West Virginia because I'm good friends with them, but I had to have it programmed. You got to have these things programmed.
Okay.
So
By
I
a
take
certified somebody.
Sir, you got to have Nissan do it. Nissan's got the technology, blah blah blah. So I take it over there, and the Nissan dealer tells me it's an hour to fix, and I think his hourly rate was 110 or 125, which that's all. I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I take it. I just took Chillicothe because it's quicker. I got to have it towed over there. That's $150. So I get over there and pick up the bill, and he goes, "It's $350." I go, $350? I said, "What's the bill?" He said, "Well, it took 3 hours to program it." I said, "Well, not from what I've been told. I called after I left him. I paid the bill." I said, "Well, I just won't be back. Gouged me once. That's my fault, but he ain't going to gouge me twice." So that was my fault for not asking. I didn't ask him. So I'll give them that much credit to them. But I just went off the other. So I called a couple other Nissan dealers, asked them, "What do you charge to do that?" And they said, "It takes an hour, blah, blah, blah." And the service manager over there just out flat lied to me. He said, I don't know where you got that information, but it's 3 hours to program it. And I said 3 other Nissan dealers.
Yeah.
So when you ever go to a new car dealer, two things you got to ask how long and how much your hourly rate is. The hourly rate is just, getting stupid. Most of the new car dealers are, about 100 to 125 is about the average for independents. But you get new car dealers, 150, 170, 185 bucks. And you get into Columbus and some of the bigger, they're even more.
Oof. And the thing is, be your own advocate, as you said. Just ask before.
You got to ask. And like I say, that's my fault. I'm upset with the dealer for not telling me. He lied to me about the 3 hour deal, but it's my fault for not asking me what he's going to charge me. So
you live and you learn.
That's right. Burn me once, you ain't going to burn me twice. That's for sure. So, oh well.
Well, it's about time here for a few minutes anyway from Pete Wilson coming in to do news. But I always ask you when you're here, what's your favorite vehicle on the lot that you have right now?
Boy, I got a couple of really nice ones here lately. Yesterday I bought a really nice 2020 Chevy Equinox. About 70,000 miles. Will be here probably Monday or Tuesday.
Cool.
I got some really nice foreign vehicles. I got a really nice Volvo I was talking about, 3-seater SUV. I got a Audi with real low miles, 4-door. I got from a new car dealer. And
I feel like a lot of people though get concerned about service with the foreign cars. Can your service department take care of a lot of stuff?
We can do a lot of oil changes, brakes, stuff like that. And then you get in like anything, in like the newer stuff like GM stuff and G4s, you have to take it sometimes to the new car dealer because you just have to. But brakes, oil changes, you can do all that stuff.
The normal basic stuff.
Yeah, basic normal stuff, you can do that. You get into something that's a little check engine lights, you can read them, but if we don't have the right equipment, you got to take it to dealer.
Okay. But that's just with every vehicle.
That's about every vehicle. When we got some really nice, I got a real nice Ford Escape out there, 4-door white one with 60,000 miles.
Okay.
Got a lot of SUVs. We're a little short on trucks. We only got about 10 or 12 trucks.
What's your favorite truck on the lot?
I got a really nice F1.
I'm still working on Jamie to get rid of the old rusty pickup truck.
Well, I tell you what, we got some really nice trucks. I just bought a real nice Chevy extended cab, 2011, blue, automatic in there, just right. I think it's right at 90-some thousand miles. Really clean, no rust. And that's brought a lot of problems with some of the trucks. I got a couple Dodge crew cabs, 4-wheel drives.
You have that Ford one that's sitting out like on the point. That's
Yeah.
a really pretty truck.
Yeah, that's
It's a navy blue.
yeah, that's our price. It's like 12.9
it's
or
like,
something like that.
like
It's
a
four-wheel-
really good price.
It's got some miles on it. It's got a little bit of rust on it, but it's a good truck. Still got a lot of still a lot of work to it. I was laughing. Back in the old days, hardly ever bought anything for the 100,000 miles. Now today,
That's
I'm
normal.
I bought a real nice Ford Escape yesterday with 137,000 miles, one owner, really clean. It'll be here next week. It'll be probably around $79.95 vehicle.
Oh, awesome!
So that's a good price vehicle. So we got
Heck yeah.
we got several cars in stock. Got some Ford Fusions. Got a real nice Chevy Malibu out there, 4-door with 60,000 miles.
I saw you had a Mercedes out there. Didn't you?
I got a couple of Mercedes. I got my wife's Mercedes, which it's for sale. She's always wanted me to sell my toys. So
exactly.
what comes around goes around. She's got it's a real nice Mercedes. I can't remember the model number. It's red, Mercedes got the real pretty red.
Mm-hmm.
Great red. It's really nice. Red with tan leather interior, really sharp. So got that. My wife's always wanting to sell my SSR. I said, why? She says, you got too many toys. I said, well, whatever.
Exactly.
That's what I work for. But we got a little bit of everything. We're open 9 to 6, Monday through Friday. Saturday from 9 till 3 now. We got new hours on Saturday.
Okay.
Just got some and our finance rates are not too bad.
Yeah, the rates are coming down a little bit.
Rates are coming down a little bit, so we're doing a lot with Vinton County Bank and Atomic Credit Union, and so we're there to help you out on any of that. We got bad credit, no credit. We can help you a little bit on that, but you got to have money, guys. Don't come in and say, "I just got a job this week and I have no money. Can I buy a car?" Can't happen. This can't happen. There's no miracles.
There's it's a trade-off for all that. But the great news is you guys take care of all that financing and stuff, like the paperwork and all of that right in-house. So you don't even have to go to the bank, ask for a loan, and then whatever. You guys take care of all that.
Yeah, and the cool thing, nice thing about the internet today with our internet site, CarmanChoosCars.com.
Yes.
We have about every car on there except the ones we just bought. You can check them out. We got about 35 to 40 pictures. You can run Carfax. We do Carfaxes on everything. Yep. So you got a lot of, you can get a lot of history on how that car's been kept care of. If it's had a minor accident, blah, blah, blah. We don't buy anything, airbags explode or serious accidents. Sure. But if it's had a fender bend or whatever, those can be fixed.
Who hasn't?
Yeah. I've had a few in my body.
Exactly.
But got a lot of good things going on there. And we got a lot of good things going on. And we've got Scott Sheets out there, my son, Chris Carman. Yep. They do a lot of selling. And our service department's open Monday through Friday from 9 till 4. Got Jason back in the back. We do the oil changes, brake jobs, tune-ups. That's the other thing. You're getting a lot of cars now that you don't think about when your car gets 100,000 miles, which is nothing wrong with that.
What happened to me?
Yeah,
I took it out to your place. I was like, what's wrong with my car? He's like, have you changed the plugs? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. He's like, let's go over 100,000 miles on it. Let's change the plugs.
People do not think about tuning up their cars. You don't. Your car's running good. It's 100,000 miles. You think, you really don't want to trade or whatever. Excuse me, got dry throat. Damn. But yeah, you just don't think about it.
No,
it's not that expensive to do it.
No, it's not, and it's just normal maintenance, wear and tear. Yeah. You change your furnace filters and you do all the things in your home. Yeah. You have to do it with your car too. And tires, we do sell tires too, so we can help you on tires, brake jobs, oil changes, stuff like that. So main thing like that. So all you have to, if you need a price on something, you can call Jason's service department. 740-286-0715. Just ask for Jason. He can give you a price on what you're looking at, or at least a ballpark area. That's right. And we want your trades. If you got a trade in, hey, we'll take your trades. So I don't care if it don't run at all. If it's the flower pot, we'll trade for flower pots. Just don't want husbands.
No, or dogs.
Or goats.
Or dogs there. But I know we're short on time, but I'll come back here and we got the spaghetti dinner coming up for the Kiwanis. So
Love that.
I got that coming up
When
here.
is that?
Here in about a couple of weeks, about a week.
Oh, goody. Come back and talk about spaghetti.
Week before the election.
You want to talk about somebody that knows spaghetti? This guy right here.
Yeah. Well, Mike Gambino's the one that knows about it.
Yeah, he does. You know how to eat it, though.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I love spaghetti, but it drives my sugar wild.
Ah, wow.
I'm already sweet. Only bad thing, I took the steroids last week. My sugars, it topped out, said hi, wouldn't go.
Oh, really?
It wouldn't give me a number what it was.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Not good.
No, definitely not.
Well, I better get out here. You got Pete over here getting all the good news in Jackson and what's going on in the big town of the J Town and what other surrounding areas. So,
Well, it is always fun spending
Been
the morning
pleasure.
with you.
I'll talk to you here in a couple weeks. I'll find out the information on the spaghetti dinner and get back with you.
Okay,
And they'll spend another good day.
sounds good, buddy.
Okay, thanks a lot. Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Have fun. Come out and see
Thank
me
you.
today. Let's make a deal.
Yeah, let's make a deal.
How you doing, sir?
Carman won't let me give prices anymore because I make ridiculous prices, and then he has to
Oh.
sell the vehicle for that.
You kill me.
he's giving up.
That's why we got under it.
Thanks, Carmen. All right. Well, Pete Wilson is in the house. Yeah, Carmen. So I used to make up Carmen specials, and I literally would make them up, and then people would go out there and say, "Well, Jennifer said, you know, you'd sell this car for whatever," and then he'd be like, he'd call and he'd say, "I have more than that in the car." I'd be like, "Oh, well, it seemed like a really good idea at the time."
How did you get away with that? Okay, all right. Oh, he thought you were just an innocent girl,
Just
right?
a sweet, sweet little sales girl.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, there's
No, he doesn't
lots of
think
things
that.
you can do when you're on TV, right?
Right on. Hey, all I could say is at least you knew people were watching.
Right. No, that's right. That's right. Good point. Good point. Hey, we're going to roll through a bunch of news here as
Okay.
we roll into the weekend. First of all, we are all turned on. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
Everybody's got electric.
Yay!
That's right. And you know, I
Woohoo!
just put yourself in their shoes.
Oh,
you know, if
man.
you would have been out, I mean, up
For a
to
week?
for 5 or 6 days at least.
Yeah.
But the last of the restoration work was done yesterday by Buckeye Rural Electric.
Great.
Middle of the afternoon, they still had some outages, mostly in Jackson County, a couple in Vinton County. But by the time I looked in the evening, zeros across the board.
Love that.
So, you know, congratulations and thank you to all those workers who worked
Oh, man.
very hard to get that.
That's right.
A lot of work, a lot of long work, dangerous work, I
Yes,
might
it
add.
is.
Remember
Very.
that? And, you know, everybody's got their power back on. And
it.
the only thing that we need to say negative is about Hurricane Helene, because I tell you what, she was a bad one.
doozy.
She was a bad one, and as you go farther south, we know all about that.
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
all right, some other things coming up. Not going to say anything about it now, but we'll maybe talk about it Monday. Maybe have Jeremiah in to talk about this, but we do want to let you know that they had a big coming out ribbon cutting at the Plibrico plant.
Yep.
In near Oak Hill. It
Yep.
used to be the AP Green
Yep.
AP Green plant, and Plibrico has relocated there. But we'll have a big story in Saturday's paper about the festivities down there and what that means for employment and all like that. But it's certainly a plus. So look for that in Saturday's paper. We'll tell you a little bit more about that on television on Monday. But we do want to touch on a little bit more in depth the ongoing situation in Vinton County on the tourism. Remember, the county has got a Department of Tourism that they have created. The county, the prosecutor, the commissioners, and a little bit of loggerheads, a lot of loggerheads, I guess, with the CVB, which is the agency that has been created some time ago, you know, to market and develop tourism. This picture that Adrian has put up is a picture of the new Vinton County Department of Tourism Board. This is as they sit around the meeting table on their very first meeting, which was on September the 26th, I believe. And, you know, they did the things that you do when you organize. They, you know, they did bylaws. They have, the commissioners have hired Amanda Boring as the director, and she, or the interim director. She will probably become the director, but right now she's the interim director, and she had been the director of the CVB before that.
Okay.
But we had a story last week about the Department of Tourism that was created because basically the Vinton County prosecutor and the commissioners are dissatisfied and have criticized how the CVB board has been operating its agency. Not a pretty thing, this dispute. Well,
Yeah,
as a
for
follow-up to that, when they just before they created the Department of Tourism, the prosecutor said, was fed up, and he put out information in a news release, and Red Thompson was there to receive it, that they were requesting, an audit of the CVB and also an investigation from the Ohio Attorney General's office. So we'll see where that goes. At the time, we asked the CVB board, of course, what say you? We had a little bit of a technical glitch. They actually did send a response sooner than we received it, but it didn't come, and we just figured they had nothing to say. So that response, that statement came through. It came from not the whole board, but it came from a longstanding member of that board, Sharon Connor.
Okay.
In Saturday's paper, we will have a follow-up story on that, and it will basically be what the treasurer, Sharon Connor, says in response to all the actions that the county has taken and the criticism that the CVB has received. And of course, at the head of that is the request for an investigation and an audit. And the short story is that basically they dispute and counter many of the things that the prosecutor is saying. We know when he's talking about irregularities and mismanagement and all like that. So both sides now, and so we'll receive that side covered in depth, right, in Saturday's paper. And that is very important to the ongoing situation in Vinton County because they sit close, as we know, to the Hocking Hills, and they feel that tourism is going to be a big part of their economic development picture, as we go forward. So we see what happens there. Almost as predicted, Jennifer, the burn ban, in spite of Hurricane Helene, is still on in Jackson and Vinton counties.
Yes.
In Ohio, this came out officially yesterday from the Ohio Department of Commerce and the State Fire Marshal. They put out a news release yesterday saying that the burn ban is still in effect for 24 counties. Now, that is fewer than what it was in the beginning, but Jackson and Vinton are in there. And
so no more.
Right. So even though we got drenched to high heaven last weekend, the burn ban is still in effect, which means, it bans about any form of outdoor burning that you can think of.
Pretty much. And Maddie Allman was very good about explaining that a little bit. When she was in the other day, we were doing the 4-H thing, and she was just saying that you have to have so many inches per feet of water, and we're off by a lot.
Right.
Still, even though we got nailed with the rain, we're still very short of the amount of rain.
It does make you wonder what it will take, to get off that burn ban.
I think it was like an inch of rain per foot, and you need like 8 feet or something like that.
No, I'm sure that
She had a formula.
There's some analytics on there for sure, but
we're way off.
Yeah, even though it's greened up a little bit, and maybe your grass is growing again in your backyard or whatever. Still, the condition of the soil and so forth, all has to do with the aridness.
It's still pretty crunchy out there.
It is still dangerous. And we're getting to the point in the fall where, the leaves are going to start falling, and it's already more susceptible to brush fires and wood fires anyway. And the outdoor burn ban that the Ohio Division of Forestry puts into effect, which is basically no burning after 6 a.m. or between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., that is already in effect. That goes into effect on October 1st, regardless of whether we have a drought.
Exactly.
So that part is in effect as well. But anyway, the bottom line is the open burning ban still in effect for Jackson and Vinton counties. We'll have a story in the paper on that.
Okay.
All right. We remember the Haunted Barn and the Fright at the Fairgrounds. What a big attraction.
Oh, so fun.
Right. Well, they're not going to do it this year.
What?
Right. No, we hadn't seen any advertisement on it. They had been not asked us to run anything. And so we reached out, Jeremiah Shaver did, and we found out from Jamie Sexton, who, of course, is one of the big volunteers and been on the fair board and with the livestock committee. He explained that they've decided to step back and not do it this year. Now, they're not going to not do it again. They're definitely planning on resuming next year.
Okay.
But they want to do some new things, maybe get some new equipment. They thought maybe it was getting just a little stale,
Okay.
even though I think their crowds were humongous,
Yeah.
regardless. But they usually would have started this weekend
Yeah.
because it's Saturday of October. The Saturdays in October, but they are not going to do it this year. But they will do it. They will resume next year with some new angles. They do it in the cattle barn up there at the fairgrounds, and it has been a major fundraiser. That was the thing, or one of the things that won them a state level award for
so cool
for volunteerism and a project that helped the fair and the fairgrounds and the fair board. So what they are promoting instead is something they call the Creepy Jeebies Jeep Ride.
Okay.
Which is going to be on October the 19th. They've had this a couple times before.
No.
Now I wasn't sure.
Thank you.
Now is that the clown from It? Sure looks like it.
Is it?
I don't know.
Adrian, do you know?
That is one of the that is one of the creepiest, scariest
Kind of
horror figures that I've
Yes.
seen through the years.
I don't care what that is.
the
That's
clown from It.
terrifying.
But you care about clowns? A lot of people are afraid of clowns.
I could take them or leave them.
Okay, well, this clown is a bad.
Yeah,
bad
that's
one.
a scary
It's a
looking
bad
clown.
one. But anyway, if you're wondering, I'll go out to the Friday at the fairgrounds, the haunted barn. Not this year, but you can be part of the Creepy Jeepies Jeep Ride that also raises money, and it will have a Halloween theme too. I'm sure. Maybe the clown will be there. October the 19th. That is on a Saturday.
Awesome.
So
Sounds fun.
Look for more information on that. Okay, we are almost just 1 month away from the election. It's November the 5th, of course. And what that means is we got some key dates coming up in the election process. The deadline to register to vote, if you're not registered, or if you have to change your registration because your name changed, your address changed, it's just like you got to start all over on that.
Absolutely.
It's a change of registration. You got to do it. The last day to do that is Monday, October the 7th. Next Monday, and the board, and you can do it in more than one place, but one of the places you would think to do it would be the Board of Elections offices, and this is all 88 counties in the state, including Jackson County and Vinton County. 9 a.m., now let me make sure of my hours on this, from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m., the elections offices across Ohio will be open, extended hours, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., for the convenience of the public to register to vote.
Register to vote.
Then the very next day, the early voting period will begin, where you can do the absentee voting, you can do the early in-person voting at the boards of elections, and we'll have a story in the paper with that schedule. We've had it once before, but we'll be doing it again and repeating that because we want to give you every chance to vote and inform you about that. Speaking of the election, the Jackson County Sheriff, Ted Frazier, put out a notice yesterday. And this, you hear about this almost every election season, especially when it gets a little heated.
Yeah.
Now, you may not agree with a certain candidate or a tax issue or whatever, but that doesn't give you the right to vandalize or take somebody's sign because you don't like it.
I can't believe it's even a thing, but it so is.
What, stealing signs?
Yes.
Well, the sheriff put this out, I think, because he got a complaint that it was happening. And Brett Hinch with the Jackson Police Department, I talked with him this morning, and he said he has got one complaint on this. Lisa Parker, who is the chairman of the Jackson County Democratic Party, she reached out to me yesterday and said that 7 Kamala Harris signs, of course, she is the Democratic presidential candidate.
Sure.
That 7 signs on South Street, a main residential street in Jackson, that the signs were all torn off the wires all along South Street. It happened overnight. And so she wanted, the public to know that this, a sign is just like property. You can't vandalize it and you can't steal it. And you know what? Brett Hinch reminded folks that in addition to that, you're trespassing.
Sure.
So that's the deal.
I just can't believe that people
That
stoop
people
to
do it?
that. Yeah, it's just so weird to me.
Well,
But whatever.
and speaking of politics, the Vinton County Democratic Party are going to have a big event. They're going to have what they call a pre-election picnic. It will be this Saturday from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. at Wyman Park.
Awesome.
And I
Sounds
got
fun.
a communication from the Vinton County Democratic Chair, Bill Beckley. He told me that in addition to local candidates, they hope to have state Supreme Court candidates Lisa Forbes, and a current justice who is running for re-election, Michael Donnelly, there at that event. So that's notable. So once again, that's 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. at Wyman Park. It's just not for Democrats or party people. It's open to the public. All right, a couple other things to tell you real quick, Jennifer, as the sands of time are running down on us. Christ Church of Jackson, I'm sure they're not the only one, but it's a major church in Jackson, and I'm sure they would appreciate support from the public. They are collecting supplies for hurricane relief.
Okay.
And it's pointed towards a place called Roan Mountain, Tennessee. I'm sure that must have been in the area.
Okay.
Not all that far from Asheville, that we've heard so much about in North Carolina. But they are picking up relief items. That in Roan Mountain, Tennessee, many were forced to evacuate their homes because of flooding. The Christ Church is collecting bottled water, canned food, gently used clothing, new underwear, and socks. You are asked to bring donations to the church this Sunday morning. That, of course, is October the 6th. The items then will be sent to Tennessee on Tuesday.
Okay.
And, you may have heard about other relief efforts as well. I'm sure they're out there, but this is one that we heard about where, we're just passing that on if you want to find a way to help. And, it's just like the electric. You put yourself in these poor people's place.
Gosh.
And the death toll in North Carolina, it just blows your mind how far that is from the ocean.
Exactly.
Right. And so it sounds like the death toll there was greater than it was where, the hurricane was full force.
Really wild to think about that can happen in inland that much.
Right. And do not forget the Zaleski Memorial School Park Day is on Saturday. Don't forget that the Bloomfield Alumni Association is having their 100th reunion anniversary down at the former site of the Bloomfield School on that property. That is in the afternoon from, I believe it starts at 3 o'clock. And the Buckeye Furnace Fall Festival out there,
so
of course,
fun.
At all day at the Buckeye Furnace Memorial. And don't forget, it's football Friday night.
That's right.
We've got 2 homecoming games, as a matter of fact. The Jackson Ironmen host the Washington Courthouse Blue Lions. The homecoming queen will be crowned, and I know the alumni band will be there. At C.H. Jones Field in Wellston, the Rockets will be playing Nelsonville, York. Both of those teams are undefeated in the TVC Ohio, so that's a big game. Plus, it's homecoming, and Eric Landrum and his crew from the 740 Sports Show will be there. That is their featured game, so you can hear the broadcast from there. They'll have all that pregame stuff that's on several of our total media stations starting at 5 o'clock, and then the postgame stuff. And they talk not just about that game, but all the games in southeastern Ohio. Also, as far as our local teams go, Oak Hill is on the road at Wheelersburg, and the Vinton County Vikings are on the road at Soda Northwest. They'll be all on our local radio stations, and the home games, Jackson and Wellston, will be streamed as well.
That's exactly right. So you have plenty of opportunity to listen or watch.
Right, and I think we covered a lot of ground, but there's a lot that I didn't tell you, and you just have to look in Saturday's paper.
That's right.
All right. I'm sorry if that's shameless, but that's what I'm telling you.
I love it.
That's what I'm telling you.
Nope, that's absolutely good. And make sure you pick up that paper every Saturday, the Telegram.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jennifer.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, have a fun weekend, Pete.
Right. And you know what else I learned by being on Main Street TV today?
What?
I'm going to pull that hood open and look at my spark plugs.
See?
Right. I mean, you know what? I'll look at them and I won't know what that means.
No, but you just think about getting them replaced, though, right?
Exactly.
Well, have a great weekend, everyone. Should be pretty weather, and we'll be right back here on Monday. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.